You are watching William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to The Desk. It may be the first day of April, but we still got some madness of March to discuss here on The Desk. And here to join me, we have Justis, Cal, Antonio, and Steve. Now, Justis, we got to keep it in New Jersey. St. Peter's had one of the greatest runs of all time, first 15th seed to make it to the Elite Eight. Justis, how'd they get this done? I mean, they beat so many great teams. How'd they get it done?
Yeah, well, it was great to see a team, so close to home make it, to the Elite Eight. And if you take a look at their stats, Coach Holloway's done a great job coaching this team. I mean, this season, 67 points per game, averaging 7.1 steals per game, 35.8 rebounds, shooting great from the field, okay from three-point. Look, this team led by Doug Eddert and Casey Ndefo, the way they beat Kentucky, Murray State, everyone on Twitter was talking about how the differences between Kentucky's, big gym and then, St. Peter's small gym. It was just amazing to see them make it so far in the tournament.
Steve?
Yeah, and the entire state of New Jersey was cocked and locked throughout the entire tournament. I mean, you have a team that played New Jersey basketball. I mean, you've seen high school basketball in New Jersey.
Hey, you played.
Tough, hard hitting, not going to give up, and that's exactly what they did. And that's the reason they were able to go out there and beat Murray State in a close game and go into the Elite Eight.
Cal?
Yeah, I think they were a Cinderella story in every way of the term. St. Peter's, they played great defense. We were just talking about Casey Ndefo. I feel like he led the team all tournament. He locked down some great great players. Purdue's Jaden Ivey, Murray State's Tevin Brown, Kentucky's Ty Washington. He held Ty Washington only 5 points in that game. So they just played fantastic defense, and that's what Cinderella stories have to do.
Antonio?
Something key about St. Peter's was they never got down by double digits in the first 3 games. So they were always in the game. They were always in it, and then they made the clutch shots. They played team defense. They weren't scared. After they beat Kentucky, they're like, we really got a chance at this.
Yeah, I remember I think Doug Edert and the rest of the guys were like, oh, it's not just a Cinderella story. We're going here to win. And that's the New Jersey mentality. I love it. I love the mentality that they have for the teams. We saw Holloway go back to Seton Hall, so that's going to be a little different for St. Peter's Prep next year. But we love to see it. Now, a team who wasn't cocked and loaded was UNC as they beat St. Peter's in the Elite Eight by 20 points. Like you said, you had mentioned before UNC, they didn't go down double digits. But they're going to play, we're going to have one of the greatest rivalries in one of the Final Four games. They're going to be UNC versus Duke. Steve, this is the first time they're playing in the tournament, and such a big game, but who do you think is going to be the key to the factor in this game?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this is the first time ever we're going to see this matchup in the tournament. And Paolo Banchero from Duke, 33 minutes a game, 17 points a game, 8 rebounds, leads the team in rebounds and points for the Blue Devils. So somebody that you got to watch out for is definitely leading Duke's offense.
Justis?
I'm taking, on UNC side, Brady Manick, transfer from Oklahoma. He's been big for them. 15 points per game, 6 rebounds, almost 50% from the field. UNC, I think, is way better than the 8th seed. And they're a really great offensive team, and I think Brady Manick is a big part of that.
Antonio?
I have Coach K. He's been to, Cal? He's been to the Final Four 13 times, 5 national championships. He already lost to UNC once this year. He's not losing twice. This is his last time playing UNC. He's winning it. He's going for the championship this year.
Listen, Coach K, he's a great coach. He's a great recruiter, probably the greatest recruiter of all time, below average basketball coach.
Tell them how you really feel, Cal.
It's an absolute. I'm so sick and tired of all this Coach K. Coach K is he's selfish. He puts too much pressure on his players. I don't even think he's all that great of a coach. In his first 3 seasons at Duke, he didn't even make the tournament. Doesn't have any talent on the team. Mintz has 68 players who's playing in the NBA. 1.7 NBA players per team. You only win 5 rings in 40 years?
And his team's been in the top
That's
45
pathetic.
since 1996.
Wait, Cal,
That's pathetic.
Who do you have first?
Okay, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. I apologize. For me, I think the player in the tournament is Armando Bacot. He had 23 and 7 in their last win against Duke. He's averaging a double-double in the NCAA tournament. I feel like it's already kind of a given that Brady Manick's gonna score a lot of points, but it's really gonna come down to how Bacot can perform not only on offense but against Paolo Banchero on Duke, who's gonna be defending.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel about Coach K. I like it. I really
so
do.
Sick and tired of Coach K.
Now,
so sick and tired of him.
Keeping it with you, Cal. On the other side of the bracket, we have number 1 Kansas. They're going to face number 2 Villanova, and a lot of people had these 2 teams in their bracket. So, Cal, take us through this matchup.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at Villanova and Kansas stats right here. What we see is Villanova about 72.6 points per game, 34.9 rebounds a game. They're shooting 43% from the field, 35 from 3-point, 6.2 steals per game. For Kansas, they've got 78 points per game, 37 rebounds, 48% field goal, 35% from three, and 6.4 steals per game. I think it's going to come down to, basically the nitty-gritty in basketball. I think Villanova's a great fundamental basketball team. They shoot 82.6% from the free throw line, which is an NCAA record if it holds. And they get 4.8 steals per game, which is 8th in the country. So it's really going to come down to who can play the nitty-gritty the best.
Steve?
Yeah, I have that exact thing right here. It's going to come down to guard play and who can control the pace. Both guards from Villanova and Kansas love to control the pace of play, and it's going to be a very low-scoring game, and whoever gets that pace is going to come out on top.
Justis?
Yeah, I think that Villanova has the edge kind of in experience. I think they're a more experienced team. But I think as far as Kansas, I think it's going to come down to David McCormick. He was key in their comeback win in the Elite Eight against Miami, so I think if he has a big game, I think they'd be able to take the W.
Antonio?
I think Kansas is going to win. Villanova just lost a key player, Justin Moore. He tore his Achilles. That's a huge loss for them. So that means Gillespie, if they want to win, he has to score 30+. I think Kansas, they're a team. They're going to play together, and they got this.
And we know these games are going to be tomorrow night, and we're all going to be tuning into that. But we're also going to tune in next Monday, as that will be the championship game. So let's make some picks here, and let's try to tell the future, Antonio. So we'll start with you. Who do you think is going to make the championship game, and who do you think is going to win it all?
So I got Duke versus Kansas, and I got Duke winning the whole thing. The final score is going to be 74-68.
Duke this would be their 6th national championship.
Yep, 6.
So, and Coach K, this
Coach
is
K's last game. How else can you ask to go out?
I mean, I think that's the best way to go out. Cal?
Well, if Coach K makes it, it's rigged. I'm not going to say anything else on that. I'm done with Coach K. I'm done with Coach K. I personally have UNC and Villanova getting in to the finals, and I have UNC winning a very, very low-scoring game. Villanova suffocates every team they play. Colin Gillespie only averaging 1.4 turnovers a game. I think they beat Kansas, but I think their luck runs out against North Carolina.
Steve?
Yeah, and I like the Villanova pick, but not the UNC pick. Duke versus Villanova in the finals. Villanova has a big game against Kansas. I think Duke wins this game 78-65. Coach K's final game, loses to North Carolina at home, wins the championship, right to 30 for 30 already.
I tune into that one. I don't know who wouldn't. Justis, close us out.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. I think that 30 for 30 is going to have a sad ending. I think that UNC is going to. I'd pick UNC over Duke, and I think that Kansas is going to edge out Villanova. I got Kansas beating UNC 71-59. Gets their 4th natty.
Yeah, I like all these picks. Well, one of them is going to have to come to fruition because I think we all pick different
We'll
teams.
see. We'll make some bets.
Well, Duke's winning, so I don't have to worry.
Friendly bets. Well, I'm pulling for Coach K because I want to see that storybook ending. Well, with so much madness going on in the world of college hoops, we cannot wait for Monday to see who's crowned as new national champion. We also cannot wait for next Thursday as we will run out to the bullpen and throw some heaters to Anthony and the rest of the MLB crew coming up next here on WP Sports Desk.